Hello, I'm John Proxy on channel John of the West, and I'm about to begin a Day of the Tentacle remastered adventure. Now, I've played the original Day of the Tentacle. I played it when it came out in the 90s. So I've completed this game before, and I'm pretty sure I remember most of the puzzles. In fact, I played it several times. That's how much I enjoyed this game. I think it might be my favourite point-and-click game ever, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to a new game, but I'm going to play with the developer's commentary on, which means I'm going to have competing commentaries. So if that's not your thing, you shouldn't be watching this series, really, because I'm going to keep this on. So let us begin. I'll be quiet while some dudes talk. Here we are. Just press. I can press F1, and it will show me the old graphics. Anyway.
So, did we already introduce ourselves? Should we do it again for real? Who's gonna start? Peter.
Hi, I'm Peter Chan, and I'm the lead artist.
You drew that painting right there, right?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay.
I'm Larry Ahern, lead animator.
You killed that bird.
I think that was a Leela scene.
Oh, okay.
She's the animal killer.
I like the mustache trees in that last shot, Peter. I'm Tim Schaefer, co-project leader of this lovely game.
And I am Dave Grossman, other project leader and designer and writer, along with Tim, of this lovely game.
That should have been our titles, co and other.
Co and other, yeah.
Clint Bajakian, one of the composers.
Peter McConnell, one of the composers.
Nice. The game has begun, you guys. Okay, so we saw the lovely, what's the name of that classical music that plays during the opening voice?
Rossini, William Tell Overture. It's the quiet part of the William Tell Overture.
There's two classical pieces that need mourning in cartoons.
Yes, there's that one, and then there's... And the other one is... That's from... Where is that from?
I don't remember.
It might be Peer Gynt or something like that. That's a good guess.
It's not another place in the Rossini, is it?
No, I think it's Peer Gynt. I think.
But for that opening scene with the music, we actually got the score and sequenced the ink into the MIDI sequencer.
Mm-hmm. That was one of the big panning sequences, like wide pieces of art for the game.
Oh, the room shot? It was a double room.
Mm-hmm. And I noticed there's a poster with an L from Laverne and Shirley on that poster back there.
Here's one of our giant animation scenes.
How did you lip sync back then? Because we didn't have any like tool. Nowadays we use a tool for lip syncing. Did you just by hand?
I think we just timed it out like the old-fashioned timing sheets.
Now that was for the cinematics, but for in-game, wasn't it Eric Wilmunder?
I thought it just blah 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 chatter.
I think the in-game was just on-off with audio on-off.
Yeah, there's no actual lip syncing for the majority of the game,
So it's
which
just
is funny since I have gotten many compliments on the lip syncing for this game over the years.
Because, you know, it loops around and every percentage of the time it's on, right?
Well, because I remember Eric...
Yeah, I think Eric designed some kind of an algorithm for making the lips move to the level of volume.
Yeah.
Right, if there are
the
pauses,
waveform.
pauses in
Of
the
the
audio,
waveform,
it stops
yeah.
moving the lips.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right, it's occurred to me that my face is covering up some of the writing. There we go, Day of the Tentacle. And the writing is covering up some of the writing, which is a bit annoying. You thought it'd be nice if they could have developers' commentary down there and have the dialogue
These credits were
up top.
That's
You're
right.
saying entirely on his internship?
Yep.
So wait, did we not pay for these credits? Or did we pay for them?
You got paid, right?
I think so, yeah. He took time. This is Peter, the other Peter. We took time out of CalArts. He came and spent some time with us, and we gave him this intro as an internship, and he did a fabulous job.
Seems like a funny thing to do, like, hey, you're an intern, you've never done this before. Do you want to do the entire animated intro, the most...
But I remember when he did, you know, when he finished something, he shared it with us. We were all blown away by it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
The most iconic signature piece. Can you
Yeah.
hurry and finish that before you go back
You
to
want to
school?
set the entire
That's right.
tone for the look of our game, and
It was excellent.
I would later learn that was the perfect piece to have Kyle work on because he was colorblind, as it turns out.
I didn't know that.
I saw him
I
working
didn't-
on
I
something
didn't
else
even
and he
know
had other people picking his colors for him.
Oh, interesting. There was another 3D artist we had there in B Building that was colorblind too, and it was one of those things where people were just kind of, have you noticed everything he does? The reds don't make sense or whatever. I couldn't remember whatever.
Oh, the cow. I always get really happy watching these credits. I like the stretchy cow neck.
That cow should have showed up again later somewhere. Missed opportunities.
What if the cow had come on their journey with them? Everything would have been so different.
Well, here's the story explanation right now for why the cow doesn't come.
Because he's just tired.
Doesn't want to make
Like
the walk
I've been
up
to the
hill.
mansion before.
Ooh, just suddenly got louder. I guess they've stopped talking for the time being.
Now, this is the first fight I had with Peter McConnell. Do you remember this, Peter?
Yes, I was gonna.
You were gonna mention that?
If you were gonna remember it.
Because the opening cutscene was too long, and we always had a problem with too long opening cutscenes. And so we were like, let's split it in half and put an interactive sequence. So there's an interactive sequence that's about to start. But I seem to remember it was the wrong time of day for you because it's nighttime outside. It started in the daytime with the mutation scene, then it became nighttime.
Right.
But then what happened? Then it turned into daytime at the end. That's what bothered you because the music couldn't make that transition in your mind.
Yeah, well, I think mostly I was crabby because you know we had to the cutscenes and the interactivity required a bunch of programming in iMuse, and I'd.
Oh, there's some controls. It did that. I didn't. So the one I'll have to remember is to change people. This will make sense. If you've never played the game, then you get to select 3 different people at some point. Is there anything else? Shift to object highlight. And F1 to change render mode. Let's see if there's anything else. I don't have that on right now. Alright, and there's a selection dial which is new anyway.
Finished it one way, and then you changed it to another, and so I think I came up with some sort of artistic argument that had to do with daylight like that, and
I'll let him finish.
That's an important thing to learn running a project, to not change things after someone spent hours and hours making something.
Well, it was also an important thing to learn not to step way out of your bailiwick and tell the guy who's writing the scene how to write the scene.
Oh, there are bailiwicks all over the place in this game.
Right. So if I press shift, oh, it highlights the stuff I can pick up. Yeah, this doesn't exist in this mode. It's nice hearing the new music. Now, when this was announced, when I first found out that there was going to be a remaster of Day of the Tentacle, my first thought was, why? It's still perfectly playable. It looks brilliant. And it's deceptive. I didn't realise it was quite as blocky, but I still think this looks fine. And you can sort of tell that it wasn't completely traced. Anyway, it looks very pretty, actually. I'm going to do this one more time. Alright, cool. He's got a book on him, as you can see. So let's pick up this help wanted sign. So, there we go. Pick up. I should be looking at things, shouldn't I?
That one looks like it's from a local hardware store.
Pick it up. I can't open the door, he won't let me, but I can try.
I'm not leaving this motel until I find those tentacles.
So if I try to pick this up, well, let's try and pull it. I know he won't be able to pick it up.
Stuck to the floor.
Let's see, that pizza, fake bath even. It's quite hard to see. There is a dime in the Verna I can pick up. And you can actually see numbers on the clock, which it's quite hard to discern in this mode. So I can look at
The Chicago Manual of Thermodynamic Flux Induction Circuit Design. Great stuff.
I bet. How do I... Oh, there we go. I want to look. Some of this, sometimes it's...
Help wanted. Lab assistant. Hard-working moronic drone needed to assist genius with experiments. High school diploma not required.
Right. I think, yeah, I can go there as well.
It's from George's Hardware. George says that every American should have a vacuum cleaner in their basement.
So I remember the puzzles that these are solutions to. Apart from the done.
1952.
Anyway. The answer to this puzzle, he won't go upstairs. Because,
Bogey's got that part of the house.
and Laverne is through that room, but we'll listen to that piece of dialogue Because I assume as soon as I solve this puzzle,
Laverne's covering that territory.
they're going to start talking again, aren't they? But no, it wasn't a puzzle. As it turns out, this was put here to cut the opening cinematic in half, which is clever. So yeah, I already learned something. So open up this clock then.
There's something funny about that clock.
I meant to open it. There we go.
Aha! A secret passage. This is all too easy.
Oh, I tried.
Laverne, how'd you get upstairs?
Am I upstairs? I got lost.
Seen any tentacles?
What's a tentacle?
Tentacle?
Oh, just something I whipped up in my spare time. Made good pets, actually. Until one of them tried to take over the world.
Hey, when that happens.
Had to tie the little buggers up in the basement.
Good thing you told us that.
Yeah, Bernard wanted us to set them free.
Thank God you weren't that stupid. Did you say Bernard?
Okay, you're free to go.
Thanks, Bernard.
Yes, thank you, naive human. Now I can finish taking over the world.
Wait!
Oh, yeah. Now I remember. He's incredibly evil, isn't he?
I'll try to talk him out of it.
Well, what possible harm could one insane mutant tentacle do?
Leaping lab rats!
Dr. Fred.
What have you done this time, you meddling milquetoast? Now Purple Tentacle is free to use his evil mutant powers to take over the world and enslave all humanity!
Whoops.
Our only hope now is to turn off my Sludge-o-Matic machine and prevent the toxic mutagen from entering the river.
Isn't it a little late for that, Doctor?
Of course, that's why I'll have to do it. Yesterday, through the time machine.
I remember it like it was the day before today.
This is all your fault, Bernard.
Behold, children, the Chronogon.
Doc, can't you just send Bernard?
No, you must all go to increase the odds that one of you will make it there alive.
Have any people ever been hurt in this thing?
Of course not. This is the first time I've ever tried it on people.
And there we go.
Well, I'll be.
And then there's the porta potties.
There we go.
Vessels.
Chronojons.
Yep.
Chronojons.
This, by the way, is an amazing full-screen animation before it was possible to do full-screen.
And not actually animated. That's all. The background's all color cycling.
It's all color cycling.
A lost art in the world of.
I forgot about that.
Now that computers work like they should, you don't have to do that stuff anymore.
If you look at Mark Ferrari's website, not that Mark Ferrari worked on this game, but he was the master of color cycling, and he has a whole website where he's done it in a more high-end way, like with higher res color cycling. He just kept perfecting that to higher and higher resolutions.
Yeah, that stuff was crazy. He was into it, and then I think Bill Eakin was the one that inherited the mantle from him when he left.
All the lava in Indy 4.
Yeah.
Of course, yes. I got distracted by my another screen that shows the recording.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that was like 2-3 frame animations.
And a little surf music for Hoagie. We always had a place for surf music in our games. The Bone Wagon theme.
Yep.
That's right.
I think that surf music was yours.
That was mine. Yeah, I did that last little sequence there.
Yeah, you know the musically, this I believe was the last project that we all worked on. Certainly the last original title that we all worked on together, sort of equally as composers, where there was no lead composer and we all pretty much
panicked and freaked out together.
Cheap mail order jewels.
What happened to Hoagie and Laverne?
I knew I should have bought a real diamond.
Are they alive?
My dials say that the larger specimen landed 200 years in the past, and the other is stuck 200 years in the future.
Well, hurry up and bring them back.
I will, as soon as I get a new diamond. Then all your buddies have to do is plug in their respective chronogens and...
Plug them in? Where is Hoagie going to find an electrical outlet 200 years in the past?
Sounds like a puzzle.
Yes, well, he'll be needing my patented super battery then, won't he? Now, where did I put those patented super battery plans of mine?
Plans? How are we going to get Hoagie plans?
Don't worry me with details, boy. Just help me find the plans. They're in this house somewhere.
Now what am I going to do?
I think I made myself perfectly clear. Step 1, find plans. Step 2, save world.
Right, so they've spelled it out for me.
3, get out of my house. Let's get cracking.
Womp, womp, womp. Oh.
Okay, am I right, or is this is finally the game starting? Like the game, all of that was intro.
Right, all that was intro.
The game has now finally begun. And then as soon as you walk off screen, we freeze again for another cutscene. Ah, okay, now we're playing.
So the original cutscene was like 7 minutes before
we added that brief, tiny introduction to. We always were wrestling with that. I felt in adventure games, like you want to tell the story and set it up for, the intro. But then you think of another, before the intro, we should do this other little intro, and then you'd end up with all these like intros to the intros to the intros, and they get super long.
I feel like that's just because we were inexperienced writers.
No, I think
some people like that. Some people like that you set the whole stage and then they're interactive, and some people are just clicking and they want to get to it.
Yeah, but we never respected those people, to be honest, who just clicked to get through it. The reality is you guys had a story to tell, and that's the way to set it up and get people invested in it so that when they actually get into the interactive part, they feel invested. And
were these cutscenes escapable back then? Did we?
Yes, but you'd be so confused if you just started this game.
Right.
And I do feel like we're asking the player to play a part in this story, and it's mean to make them wait so long before they can.
True, but at least they're being entertained.
But of course, it's a classic, full of mistakes, but a classic.
Right. Have a look at this hamster generator.
It looks like a generator driven by a treadmill.
Let's have a look at the bulletin board.
To do.
Let's look at the paper.
Dr. Fred's designed for a super battery.
There we go.
Capable of storing up to 1 gigavolt with a charging time of only 0.01 seconds. Wow!
And there is a patent that way. Let's pick that up.
I've got the plans.
How did he come?
We have to flash them to Hoagie.
How did you get over there?
There we go.
My ingenious super battery design, please.
Yeah, so this is more
You really
introduction.
Yes.
Down the toilet.
No, through time. Using the highly sophisticated time flux hydraulic vortex chamber I've installed in each chronogen, you can flush small inanimate objects to each other through time. Flush small inanimate objects to each other through time.
Hello? Dr. Fred, can you hear me? Drat.
Did you hear something?
No. Let's see if what's-his-name catches on.
There's Hoagie.
Oh, great. I'm stuck in colonial times, tentacles are taking over the world, and now the toilet's backing up.
Hoagie, come over here. It's your old pal, Dr. Fred.
Dr. Fred, how'd you get in there?
I want you to pick up those plans you see in the chronogen, Hoagie. Bring them to Red Edison. He's my great grandfather. He'll know what to do.
You need the plans to make a super battery so you can plug in your chronojohn.
Okay, if you say so, Bernard.
Bernard.
Good boy. Does he have any experience with electronics?
Well, I once saw him take 3,000 volts directly through his head without batting an eye.
Didn't he pass out?
Well, he was already passed out when it happened.
Time for me to save the world, I guess.
There we go. Oh.
Ding, 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 ding. This is that we talked about a little bit when Dave and I played through. But originally, you could play all 3 characters right away. Remember that?
Is that true?
Oh, yeah, you could play all the characters from the very beginning. And we had our first pizza orgy where we tested the game out, and people were like, "Oh, there's so many options," and they were overwhelmed. So now we unlocked it. So you have to play as Bernard for a little while, and then you do something that makes it so you can play Hoagie, and then Vern's the last.
And what about the other 3 kids?
They got cut.
There were 3 other kids?
They were 3 other kids. Do you remember who they were?
No, I don't remember anything about 3
piece
other
of paper.
kids.
I have a piece of paper that has a picture of them.
Moonglow,
Chester.
From Maniac Mansion.
Chester and Moonglow ring a bell.
Chester became Ned and Ted.
Wait, not Ned and Ted. Jed and...
Or whoever they were.
Jed and...
Ned and Jed.
Ned and Jed.
Okay.
Ned and Jed. And Moonglow just went away. And Razor went away as well.
I mean, I stole the character design from Chester and said, I like that. I'll use that for these guys. And put them in a powdered wig.
Why do the work again? Really?
Exactly.
Right. So we can swap.
So as soon as Hoagie gets that battery working, we're set.
I'm afraid not. We still need a diamond for the main unit. And your friend in the future needs power too, if she's still alive.
Alive?
Get me out of here.
Didn't realize it would be immediately cutscene.
And everything, but this one has got to go.
Right, so we have to get her out that tree somehow. He needs to find a diamond, and he...
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, hang on. Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. This is that we talked about a little bit when Dave and I played through. But originally, you could...
Right. Do we have the plans already? Right, so we've got a can opener as well. Let's have a look at that.
Bitcha.
There we go. So, gold croutons, oil, vinegar, and lettuce. Oh. So there we go. I think it's gold, oil, and vinegar we'll need mainly.
It's the battery plans I'm supposed to give to that Red Edison dude.
Don't know if you actually. Oh.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh. Don't know if he mentioned Red Edison, but anyway. Let's walk over there. I'm gonna have to let you go soon. There's a kumquat tree. Let's have a look at that.
Kumquats.
Indeed. Meanwhilst, 400 years later, somehow.
Get me down from here.
There's so much introduction to this game.
How did we...
I'm trying to remember how we did.
How we referred to it to score it, because we would have had to play the game.
I think what we did, yeah, I'm trying to remember too.
Hold
I think
up a
what we
video
actually,
camera in front of the screen?
I think what we did was we got a save game made,
Oh.
and we would play it to the next, like, place where you could pause, or like we would, the next spacebar point or something like that, and then we would score it, and then we would make it so that the music, because the thing was that you couldn't rely on the sync, right? So we had to actually make the music interactive in a sense with the scene, so that it could, depending on how fast of a machine you had and how quickly therefore the scene would play, would the music actually hit the right hit points and then proceed correctly to the next hit point.
So we would have an accordion-like.
We basically had an accordion-like
at the end
structure.
Of each little section, it would sort of pause, and then resume at the hit point, or jump to the hit point if the hit point was reached first.
Yeah, and
I'm
trying to think if we
would be only the fastest machines.
Right.
It's interesting. I had to write music for my brother made a mobile game, and it was like not Flappy Bird, but something like that. He made it before Flappy Bird actually came out, by the way. But a sort of jetpack joyride, more like. Basically, you pressed the button and he went up, and when you let go, he fell down, and you had to dodge stuff. But we wanted some music in the background that sped up over time, constantly at a constant rate. So I had to design a piece of music that could do that, and I had to figure out how to transpose it so he could have it in his game. I had to record all the notes because the notes played on ticks of the game engine, rather than because we couldn't just play it in the background. We wouldn't know when it stopped. Also, we needed the thing to sing, the flying thing sung. Anyway, I'll let you go half past. There's a carriage. Look how dirty that carriage looks.
It's totally covered with crud.
Connected to one of the more not obscure puzzles, but the puzzle solution, it doesn't quite make sense. Look, a letter.
You're brilliant. What a novel design. Come to Baltimore at once.
Right. I sense. Now you can sort of meta-logic some of the puzzles, and what I mean by that is, you know, if you're playing a first-person shooter and you get a corridor, right? You know one's going to take you to the next level, and therefore the other corridor must exist for a reason, and it's probably going to have an item at the end of it. That's you that's you figuring out a sort of puzzle that the game hasn't given you a clue for, it's just that you figured out how games work a bit. So, with this item here...
You're brilliant. What a novel design. Come to Baltimore at once.
So, that's a letter for Red Edison. But it doesn't make sense for me to give it to him, because that'd just be simple, right? What you don't, the game wouldn't make me just deliver a letter. No, he wants me to be clever. So, presumably then, at some point, the other guy is going to, because there's 3 Edisons. Like there's actually I don't know if there's 3 Edisons, but there's certainly at least 2. So,
how did?
Yeah. So let's go to the outhouse and flush this letter.
Okay, I flushed it.
And we'll pick that up later. I think you can only have one item in the chronojon at a time. So we'll go indoors, listen to the commentary, which is bound to happen as soon as I step indoors. And I'll let you go, I guess. Oh, no commentary. There's a mummy, though. Let's talk to the mummy.
What's up? Don't feel like talking, huh? Vow of silence or something, probably, right? Well, that's cool. I have something for Red Edison.
He's dead. He's not going to answer to.
Do you know where I could find him? Great hat, man.
Listen to the different music.
I know some dudes in a band who'd eat roaches for hats like that. They're called Insensitive Spittoon. Ever hear of them? If you ever get to the 1990s, check them out. Well, nice talking to you, dude.
There you go. Right, I won't go into the main hall just yet. Well, as you can see, it's the same layout. So, open this grandfather clock and step inside. And there, oh.
So now, CD games were just starting to be released on CD-ROM, and
The first,
for us it was
the talkie, first talkie.
First talkie, right?
Was this before Rebel Assault?
Was it before or around the
Because
same,
we
same
shipped
year?
two versions of this game. We shipped a floppy version and a CD-ROM version.
Followed up with a.
We had the CD. I had the CD-ROM version.
The floppy version only had voice in the intro, and then it was all text.
And that was not the original plan to do voice at all.
No.
We were not going to do it, and while we were making the game,
human voice was invented.
Well, human voice was invented, and more and more people started to have CD-ROM drives in their home computer, to the point where Kelly Flock just came in one day and said, what do you say we delay the game a little bit and we make a full voice talkie?
Yeah, thank you. Let's all thank you to Myst.
Although, was this pre-Myst?
No, I think, well, I mean, Myst was what sold all those CD-ROMs and Rebel Assault.
That was really interesting. Right, I'm going to let you go. I've been John Proxy on channel John West. I'm having a Day of the Tentacle remastered adventure with director's commentary, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.